Okay. Paradise... Where exactly? Oh, here! No, this is not Glory Palace. The Glory Palace is on the north. I think so. Or... No, it's Sumeru.
Even though most of the Academia's restrictions have significantly relaxed, I'm still a bit worried that the Matra might give her trouble.
What are you doing here?
I need to stay here to keep an eye on the situation. Kale, can you head to Sumeru City and find out why she isn't here yet?
Does it have to be me?
I'd only assign a job this important to someone I trust.
Yeah, sure.
Are you not feeling well?
Oh no, I'm fine. I've completely recovered. It's just that if I'm going to see her, I think I need to mentally prepare myself first.
Hmm?
I know. You'll have a tough time if you go by yourself. If we could arrange for someone to accompany you...
This man, let's see.
Oh, hey there!
Ah, it's been a while. What a coincidence. I was just thinking about asking you to accompany Kale to Sumeru City.
Why are you thinking about me?
Sorry, that's not what I meant. It's just that this matter concerns research banned by the Academia. Not the sort of thing you'd shout from the rooftops. Also, you happen to know about this situation? There are very few people I can trust to be discreet right now. After giving it much thought, I believe you're the most suitable person for the task.
Research done by Academy?
It's complicated, and this isn't the best place to talk about it. We'll fill you in on the details once she arrives.
Who is she?
You might have heard about her in Sumeru before. Her name is Faruzan, and she's a very experienced senior researcher.
When you say very...
Let's just say that a huge part of Ksharowar's mechanical research over the past 100 years have used her academic discourse and manuscripts as their foundation.
Is she human?
She is, but she vanished for 100 years because of a certain incident. She only returned to the Academia after being found in the wilderness a few years ago.
Okay.
Because of that, her current personality can be a bit strange, as is her attitude towards Kale.
Why?
I'm getting a headache just thinking about it.
She doesn't have bad intentions, so you don't have to be scared.
I'll try.
Do you really have to invite her here?
Yes, Ksharawar and Spontamod researchers are often quite prejudiced, so I can't trust them with this matter.
Okay.
However, Faruzan isn't influenced by modern thinking. In our previous correspondence through letters, she indicated that she'd be willing to help.
Oh.
It's already past our arranged meeting time, but she still hasn't shown up.
Is she catching by
I
Academy?
don't think so. With her personality, it's more likely that she got wrapped up in some sort of trouble.
Oh.
Anyway, can you go with Kale to the Academia and check on Faruzan for me?
Sure.
Thank goodness. I was so anxious.
Don't worry, I am here.
I'm counting on you too. Kale, don't push yourself too hard. Just go there and see what's going on. Our task is important, but not that urgent. If Faruzan really is in some trouble, come back and tell me about it. We can always reschedule our meeting. After all, if she's distracted by other things, it'll affect her ability to help us.
All right, let's go.
Let's to go. Yes, sneaky bastard. Where?
I see everything.
Oh!
I do hope Madame Faruzan is able to find time as soon as possible.
Okay. We still can use this. Oh! She is here. I expect she should be stuck in some... Hello?
Sorry, what did you say? Oh, could you repeat yourself? As you know, I'm sure, hearing goes with age.
Farzan, I said that you need to give us an answer.
Yes. And did you forget to add madam when you addressed me earlier?
Your hearing is perfectly fine. Madam Farzan, we don't want to make things difficult for you. However, you haven't been teaching courses or supervising theses these past few years. Isn't this rather problematic as an advisor? Never mind the students. Even other advisors are starting to complain.
And who, if I may ask, complained? If they have any issue with me, tell them to talk to me themselves rather than waste any of your time.
Yeah?
You don't have to tell me anything. I very well know that it's those people from Haravatat. How I wish they'd put their time into doing proper research instead.
But, Madame Farzan, it has been a long while since you last made any practical academic contribution yourself.
Oh.
Academic contribution cannot simply be divided between the tangible and the intangible. The issue here, I believe, is that the reviewer doesn't understand the very nature of knowledge itself. In any case, makes no sense to use a metric like this to evaluate a mentor. Which sage set this rule anyway? I should write a letter of complaint right this instant.
Wait! Madame Farzan, please let me finish.
That's her, alright. But the person with her doesn't look like a Matra.
Okay, so young.
Shh! She hates it when people call her young! Her body apparently stopped aging during the year she was gone. So that's why she looks the same as she did 100 years ago.
What the world to happen to her?
Okay, I think I'm ready for this. Let's go!
Anyway, Akara Crafts and the leader of Kasharawar would like to invite you to collaborate on this project. They're wondering if you'd be interested. Madame Farzan? Are you listening?
Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she sees us.
Ah, Kale! Why are you here at the Academia? Are you feeling better now?
Ah, she loves Carly so
I'm
much.
much better, Madame Farzan. It's all thanks to the Traveler and the Dendro Archon.
Yeah, we have the Dendroarchon with us.
Have you been sleeping well? You seem to be developing some eye bags. Is that brat Tainari forcing you to stay up late again?
Oh.
No, it's because I'm a slow learner. It's not Master's fault.
It's good to be hardworking, but you need to take care of your health. I'll have to give Tainari a right talking to when I see him. I'll also prepare some health supplements for you.
There's really no need.
Ah, and is the person beside you the legendary traveler?
Legendary! Oh, I love this kind of title. Pleased to meet you, Akanden Madame.
Oh, I've heard much about you before. In fact, I've been meaning to meet you for a while now.
Oh.
It is thanks to you, after all, that the Academia is finally getting back on its feet. Even Kali's illness is...
Ahem. Madame Farzan, I believe we were still discussing the collaboration with Akara Crafts.
Oh.
I'd wager it's those Kasharawar dunderheads finding excuses so that I'd go to their darshan. Say no more. I have no plans to change my field of research.
Oh.
If you're this unwilling to participate in the collaborative project, you can also consider teaching a class. It might be difficult to teach a course with topics that only fall within Haravatat's subjects, but we can't delay this anymore. You need to give an answer. You can teach a course or participate in a collaborative project. If you don't do either, it'll be hard for me to persuade the advisors and students who have been complaining.
This sounds like some inter-academic dispute.
Could you not give me a few more days to consider? This matter has been delayed for so long already.
That's precisely the issue. If you don't give an answer today, I fear that someone will soon escalate their complaints to the sages.
What a waste of free time these folks are. Now you two are here at Tainari's behest, I take it. I'm sorry, but given the current situation, it looks like I'll have to come over some other day.
Carly seems like she wants to say something. Please give me one.
Of course. I shall need some time to think as well.
What do you want to say, Carly? Carly? Carly?
What now? She seems so busy. Master said there's no rush, but I know that he's been busy working on something at Paradise DI, so he hasn't returned to Gandharvaville for several days now. I feel for Madame Farzan, but I still want to ask her to come with us. But if I get her in trouble with the Academia, then she won't have the time to help Master. What should I do? Oh, this is such a headache.
What option we? Let's help her resolve her creative problem first. Let's think some way to get her to Let's do it this
Yeah,
way.
that would be the best for them both. I'll check with Master later and see if there's anything I can help him with. But I'm sure he'll say, the best thing you can do now is study hard, so I don't have to give you remedial lessons.
You can stay in help
Huh? Oh yes! This way she can get her problem sorted out quickly, and then she can go see Master.
Correct.
So if I also stay and help... that still sounds kinda scary.
Let's observe the situation first.
Okay then. I'm counting on you.
I have to teach students from Haravatat or owe Kasharawar a favor. It strikes me that they might be even less happy about such a deal than I am.
I think I can sympathize with them.
We're back, Madame Farazan. The Traveler said that he can stay and help you.
Oh, why I couldn't ask for more. In fact, I'm rather curious about the type of person the Traveler is. You were the one who taught Azara a lesson after all.
No,
That said, will I be troubling you?
I specialize in solving problems.
Is that so? Good. It does so happen that I do have something I need help with.
What?
Now, should I apply to teach a course with Haravatat, or join the collaborative project that Kasharawar is proposing?
Tell me more about Haravaya.
You might have heard of it before. Haravatat is an academic faction that researches languages and runes. 100 years ago, Madame Farazan was a researcher from that darshan.
Okay.
Now, not was. Still am.
Yes, of course. But current Haravatat students can't really... understand her direction of research. So even if she opened a course, chances are that no one would attend.
Direction.
In summary, I mean to interpret the configurations and solutions of ruin mechanisms via the deciphering of on-site stone carvings and unearthed documents. It'll include research into general documents dealing with such ancient machines.
The research method is supported by Haravatat, yes, but the content deals heavily with both ruins and mechanisms. This will make it difficult for students of this darshan because they don't understand much about mechanisms. Also, there are fewer and fewer unexplored ruins left nowadays, and Kasharawar researchers have been developing their own theories on mechanisms. As such, they don't need to rely on ancient documents.
But this subject is what may be called sunset industrial. So she doing very nice research. This?
They're far too complacent. Ancient mechanisms are more dangerous and complex than one might imagine.
Okay.
I'm telling you, things weren't like this 100 years ago. All researchers back then were interested in exploring knowledge from a variety of topics. They also gave more respect to unknown mechanisms. Nowadays, all people are interested in are mainstream subjects in popular research. Even if they attended my course, I wouldn't be interested in teaching them.
We see
Also,
what
the people here think that my research is outdated and unrealistic, so they keep cutting my funding. Why, I think they could all stand to learn from Kale. She's a hard-working child and respects her elders.
Huh? Why me?
If only those who came to my lectures were more like you. Speaking of which, are you feeling better? You don't have to confine yourself to Gandharvaville anymore, right?
I just remembered that I have a lot of studying to do. I need to head back and find Master.
Wait, I have idea. All I need to learn how to read.
Are you telling me to start a reading course for Kale?
Huh?
Wait. Although Tainari has academic dealings with the academia, he isn't considered part of it. This means that Kale isn't technically a student.
Does she have holding in the class in the academy? Can that be public course?
No, he's right. The old academia became consumed by their arrogance precisely because they ignored the public. There must surely be many people like Kale and Sumeru who are passionate about learning, but cannot study due to various
Yeah,
reasons.
special people from desert.
The old academia paid no heed to them. But if I start a reading course for Kale as a pilot, perhaps this shall come to benefit many more people in the future.
Correct.
I'll need to go back and ask if this is in accordance with regulations.
Oh, save yourself the extra trouble. I'll come with you. If there's any arguments to be had, we shall sweep them aside together.
Oh my god, I see already.
Traveler, Kale, do wait for us a little while outside the academia. I'll be back in just a moment.
Wait! Let's catch up with her.
Where sh... Here I come! Don't worry. What happened? She destroyed Sumeru City?
I can't believe she rushed right in after we arrived. She's really headstrong. Oh, how did things turn out like this?
Did I end up give up her idea?
No, not really. Madame Farazan is a brilliant scholar. Even Master thinks so. If she's really going to teach me how to read, it'll definitely be much better than me bashing my head against the wall.
Oh,
It's just that she can get a bit too passionate sometimes. I don't know how to handle that.
it's completely different from how she treats research?
Maybe it's because she wants to take me in as a student?
Oh,
It's just like that researcher said. The academia has completely changed during the 100 years that Farazan was gone. I don't really get it. But it does seem like Haravitat's students aren't optimistic about the prospects of doing research with her.
oh,
Students who are interested in mechanisms and applications of the elements generally enroll in Kasharawar and Spontamod.
okay.
Madame Farazan also refuses to accept random students just to make up numbers. She still hasn't found a student she likes, even after all this time back.
So she is teacher without those
But
students.
she seems to like my attitude toward learning, so she often asks me if I'm willing to become her student.
Oh,
It's because I'm a slow learner that I have no choice but to stay up late and study. Whenever she compliments me, I feel really guilty.
so she be asked you to become her student?
It's not that. Madame Farazan respects my choices. She hasn't been trying to persuade me, especially since she knows I need to rest and recuperate.
Oh,
She sometimes brings food to Gandharvaville for me, and each time she says that Master can't find out.
so like something like grandmother maybe do for her granddaughter.
Now that you mention it, it does feel a bit like that. Do I really look that young?
Kale, Traveler, thank you for waiting. The issue has been resolved.
That was
I
fast.
argued with the higher-ups and convinced
Oh.
them of the practicality and necessity of educating the general public.
I can see how you're doing this.
If I'm not mistaken, they're the students of my classmates' students. They're a lot less forceful than their predecessors, though. I'd say they caved rather quickly.
Amazing.
Well, they be convenient.
It's just that we need to fill in every single page of the application. It's been a century, but the academia is as picky as ever.
Oh,
Let's see now. What do we need to fill in? Course name, learning objectives, teaching methods, course materials. I suppose we can fill in the course name last.
to teach people.
That's a bit
fine.
too general, I'd say. After all, this class's target audience isn't toddlers or children, but rather people who already know the basics of reading.
Oh,
As such, we'll need a more specific learning objective. How about proficiency in reading and writing?
That's true. If we use children's teaching materials, we'll only end up wasting a lot of time on things that students would already know.
And you have your job as a forest ranger, Kale. People who attend this course in the future are also likely to have life commitments. We need more effective teaching methods.
what other learning method does Cora use it?
Master always tells me that practice is the best way to learn. That's why I often ask him to help me find simple books to read.
It must have been difficult to get books in Sumeru in recent years, no? Tainari really went the extra mile for you. Expanding literacy is a capital notion. Now that the academia is easing restrictions on the circulation of books,
Oh.
there should be more people who have become interested in reading. It's a great time to conduct this course.
We got teaching methods sorted out. How we choose course material then?
So that's next on the list. I fear that I'm at a loss as to which books youngsters like nowadays. Would The Legend of Antara be too old of a story?
How old that story exactly?
Fair. Kale, what have you been reading lately?
Me? I've been reading light novels from Inazuma. I heard that ever since we were allowed to sell books in Sumeru again, some people set up stalls at Treasure Street to sell light novels. I've been meaning to go there and check it out.
Oh,
Light novels? This is my first time hearing about such a thing.
oh my
I
god.
doubt I will procure suitable teaching materials from the House of Dana. Treasure Street it is.
Wait for us, Madame Farazan!
Oh my god.
You wouldn't think someone as fast as her is over 100. Let's pick up the pace and catch up to her.
Where is she going? You're going this direction or which direction? Don't tell me where's she going? Lower. What means lower 30? Oh, here she is.
What a long and mildly ungrammatical title. And why is the cover so colorful?
Is this your first time seeing a light novel, ma'am? Oh, they're the most popular of books nowadays.
Yep.
Would you like me to recommend something?
Oh my god, I am interested in what he be recommend.
Fine. One shouldn't judge a book by its cover after all. May we browse through the books here?
Of course. Why don't you try this one? It's Outlander Brigade, When the Wind of Death Blew Towards the Blonde Samurai.
This is about us?
I heard that this book's author describes action in vivid detail.
Now I've only skimmed through a few pages, but it feels like it's all fight scenes. There are only subjects and predicates, and the syntax is a tad simple.
Subjects? Predicates?
Too hard to... Too complicated word for Cole.
The protagonist just ends up fighting in every scene with no proper build-up. Will anyone even enjoy a story that's only comprised of fights?
It's for readers who don't care about the plot.
How about... the good thing about being reincarnated as a hilly churl is that I only need to eat Sunsetias to become
I
stronger.
remember this book. It was in the Raiden Shogun Raiden A story quest.
A reincarnation isekai story?
Oh
Those
my
are pretty
god.
popular right now.
They use it. Isekai. Isekai exists in... Hey, vet. Oh.
Isekai? What in the world is that? Also, why does it become stronger by eating Sunsetias?
That's what we call tropes.
Tropes? Ah, those fictional rules used to push the plot forward, yes? They're definitely effective in achieving a distancing effect.
Oh my god.
Sorry. What is this distancing effect?
However, this book doesn't explain how reincarnation correlates to becoming stronger. Such an illogical rule will affect the coherence of the story. Will readers really accept this?
There may be people out there who will be. It's for readers who don't care about logic. There may be people who will be.
How about this? I had to fight tooth and nail to get this in stock.
What, this?
Oh, that's the latest volume of Onibuto!
Onibuto?
Now that's a rather normal title length. Oh, Kale, do you like this series?
Serious?
Yes, but I don't like it that much.
To admit, like books like this, you clearly reconcile for your single grace.
Madam, are you going to use this series as teaching material?
Let me see. The dialogue flows quite well, but there are too many phrases here that I don't recognize.
What?
Third eye of perception, illusory mirror, and so on. Are these terms that are tied to tropes?
I also thought those names were strange when I was reading them.
I'm about to say. Is that the language research from Harvard for you?
It's impossible to derive the meaning of these phrases in isolation. Also, their morphological properties are quite pedestrian, really. Or did the protagonist purposely create these strange names to disorient their foes?
I think because something named cool.
So there's no deeper purpose. Hi. It's quite hard to understand stories written these days.
You're right. It's such a weird book. but you keep wanting to read the next page.
Even the most popular book in Sumeru back then had greater depth than anything written today.
Most popular book back then?
Yes, a Bahumana researcher wrote it while researching folk legends. The plot had many twists. The world building was fantastic, and even the writing could withstand scrutiny. When it was still being published, many people in the academia were reading it. Even the sages back then all described the story as a timeless classic. The series must have concluded after so many years, right? Perhaps it's even more popular now.
Is there a book like that in Sumeru? I've never heard of such a thing before. What's the title?
It's called Tales of Shariar. Do you sell it here?
Tales of Shariar? I don't think I've heard of that before. When was it published?
About 100 years ago.
Not surprised.
100 years ago? Are you pulling my leg? What sort of book can remain popular for 100 years?
The Legend of Antara is popular to this very day, isn't it? I just heard someone telling it a few days ago in a cafe. If an old story like that is still being shared, then Tales of Shariar must be even more popular.
Even if that is the case, I really don't carry that book here in my store.
Okay, we have going to somewhere other
What?
place.
Is that because of the academia's strict control over books in recent years? I can't believe they've allowed the people of Sumeru to become so uncivilized. How can they not know about the Tales of Shariar?
Tales of Shariar? Oh, wait. I think I heard an antique seller on the other end of Treasure Street mention that name before.
Oh,
I mean, it is a book from 100 years ago. Why don't you try asking for it there?
good
Tales
idea.
of Shariar is considered an antique now? How could the academia have let such an excellent work of literature be forgotten like this?
Calm down, Faruzan. That was 100 years ago. 100 years ago.
Traveler, Kale, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Let's meet at the antique sellers.
Oh my. This big.
Madam, wait! Oh no, this is bad.
What's wrong?
You asked me why I'm scared of Madame Farazan, right? It's not because I don't know how to respond to her kindness. It's because I'm afraid of that ancient language she researches, because I can barely understand any of it. What if she uses ancient text as teaching material?
That book only. No. I doubt counting as book writing and action language.
Even so, what if researchers from 100 years ago like to use ancient languages in their books? We've got to catch up to her!
Okay. Where is she going? Okay, this direction. Where are you? Faruzan? Faruzan, what the hell are you? You're on the... You know. This should be... Faruzan, what the hell are you? Is lower? Okay, one moment.
Got to pick a true classic. Found it! The 5th volume of Tales of Shariar.
Wow, you actually found it!
I never thought this book would ever get sold.
Oh my
All
god, this
right,
voice.
That's our teaching material secured. We also now know what to call this course. Analysis of Classical Texts. After all, this book is definitely worthy of being called a classic.
Can I take a look? Luckily the language being used here isn't ancient at all. I can recognize a few words here and there. Huh? But why aren't there pictures in this book?
As long as the writing is good, readers won't need any illustrations to imagine the scenes. Worry not. I shall thoroughly explain the difficult sections. You'll like this book. I know it. After all this time, I wonder if Aaliyah and Aziz ended up together. And who obtained the desert gem in the end? Sir, do you have the subsequent volumes of this series?
I don't think so.
Oh my.
Is that so? And here I thought I could finally read the ending. Never mind, I'll keep searching for the later volumes myself. If I'm to use it as a teaching material, it's better to start earlier in the series. Where are the first 4 volumes? Why aren't they all together?
I don't have those either. Actually, this is the only volume I have.
Oh my.
Is this series really that popular?
No. It's not popular at all. Rather, there's absolutely no demand for it.
No demand? Impossible.
Oh my god.
Back then, I'd come across at least 3 groups of people talking about it during a single stroll at the academia.
Seriously? No one told me that this book was anything special when I first got it.
Where did you get this from? Can you still contact the seller?
I'm afraid not. This book was sold together with a whole bunch of antique furniture. I didn't even notice it initially. Otherwise, the Matra would have come knocking. Wait, is this book actually worth a lot? It can't be, right?
I'm afraid no.
That's impossible. No matter how strict the academia was, there's no way Tales of Shariar could have fallen into such a state.
I do remember a passerby skimming through the book a few days ago. However, he simply sighed and left.
He sighed? Why would he react like that? Given the quality of Tales of Shariar, he should have been entranced after a single glance. I'm sorry. Traveler, Kale, please give me a moment. I'd like to look through this book first.
And what do you see?
Why is there another misunderstanding between Ali and Aziz? Also, why is there no mention of the Desert Gem at all? And a new character is introduced with no foreshadowing at all? Also, what are all these new names and terms?
Yeah, Faruza. Yeah, Hoyovers. What is this? What is it? Ito. Ila. Yeah, what is this? Yeah, exactly.
Is this really the Tales of Shariar I know?
Oh my.
Well, that passerby reacted in much the same way.
What's passing this
It's
case?
Mada from the cafe over there. You know, the fellow who spends all day telling the legend of Antara.
Oh, this guy.
Since that's also a very old story, maybe he knows a thing or two about that, Tales of...
Yeah.
Whatever it's called.
Okay.
Then let's go ask around at the cafe. Huh? Madame Barzan?
Huh? Oh, yes. Let's go.
Okay. But this was volume 5, so maybe they fixing or cancel completely. 1 or 2. Cafe! I am a little disappointed they don't allow Raiden Ake not cooking but prepare some drink. Come on, you give coffee. She can creating some give green tea and she be creating some special maybe green tea or something like this.
Another day, another empty room.
You!
Excuse me? But are you Mada?
Yes! Are you here to listen to my story?
Well, we actually came to ask about something else.
I see.
Sorry.
It's fine. I'm used to it, more or less. So, how can this terribly unpopular storyteller help you?
Do you know about Tales of Shariar?
Huh? Tales of Shariar? Why, I can barely remember the last time anyone talked about it.
Oh.
My master always talked about how incredibly popular that book used to be. However, I tried reciting a few chapters of it at the cafe, and I found that it's even less popular than The Legend of Antara.
Your master?
Yes, the one who taught me how to be a storyteller. He said that Tales of Shariar was written by his master's master's master.
Okay, 4 generations like
He
this.
also said that this great-great-grandmaster was an academia researcher, and that even the sages liked the series. He wrote 4 volumes back then, and the reviews just got better and better. You couldn't find a single person in Sumeru who hadn't read his books.
And then? What happened next? Why doesn't anyone know about Tales of Shariar now?
Oh, it's hard to tell when it comes to trends. One day everyone likes stories like that, and the next day their tastes change completely. Instead of writing a proper ending, this great-great-grandmaster kept trying to extend the story. To tap into popular trends, he added a lot of tropes. Then, starting from the 5th volume, the reviews started to go downhill.
Oh, I see.
How could that be? Then what happened to Tales of Shariar in the end?
In the end, there's no ending. The great-great-grandmaster tried to write a few more volumes, following whatever trends were popular at the time, but the trends kept changing right as he published his books. He got so infuriated that he stopped writing altogether and focused on his research instead.
What? So there's no ending?
No.
The readers didn't care?
By that time, only a very small number of people were reading Tales of Shahryar. Anyway, my master probably exaggerated. How could a work possibly have been that popular? The only tangible thing my great-great-grandmaster left is the original draft of Legend of Antara. He also left behind many theses from his research phase. When my master talked about Legend of Antara, he'd even quote from those theses.
Oh.
My master is a much better storyteller than me. Even when we're telling the same story about Antara, he's always able to draw in a huge crowd.
Oh.
But even he won't recite Tales of Shahryar due to its ever-changing writing style and its lack of an ending.
So, Antara's story is the one that lasted through the years.
Yep.
Well, not even sages can definitively ascertain the quality of something like a story. In the end, only time can separate the classics from the fads.
Only time?
Yep.
Madame Farazan? It's been 100 years. Perhaps some things I once believed to be great aren't so after all.
You don't have to worry about that. The story decline maybe not have been good to change the trend. It doesn't matter if the classic or a fad. What matters is that you liked it.
Yeah! Master helped me find a lot of famous books at first. But in the end, I realized that I couldn't get into them. No matter how good those stories are, I can't improve my skills if I can't bring myself to read them in the first place. I think the best books for me are the ones I like.
The problem here is not actually about improve your reading skill, but supposed to principle. I suppose principle is the same.
Huh. Indeed. That is true. Readers' interest in trends of a time are not things that are so easily predicted. What was popular 100 years ago could be completely forgotten in modern times.
Correct.
And yet, 100 years, as far as history is concerned, is but a blink of an eye.
For some people, yeah.
If Tales of Shahryar hadn't chased after trends and instead stuck to its original style from start to finish, it might have stood some chance of gaining renewed popularity. No, even if that didn't happen, at least it would be a work that was true to itself.
Huh? Our conversation just got a lot more serious.
I don't really get what you're talking about, but it does sound sensible. Looks like I also have to hang in there and tell Antara's story well.
You should think about present fears. You should think about your incoming fears. I think so both is the same.
How unseemly. I almost got carried away because of a single book. Well then, we should get back to the matter of our teaching material. It looks like we can't use Tales of Shahryar now.
How about Legend of Antara then?
No, it's much too old. Kale, you found a book that you liked at the bookstall, yes?
Yes, but I don't really...
Then we'll use that book as our teaching material.
Oh my.
Now that I think about it, using a book that you like is the most suitable choice for teaching you how to read. As for the academia, as long as we come up with an appropriate course name, we should be able to get away with this.
I propose appreciate popular literature, perhaps analyze popular literature, maybe to the trick.
My, it sounds like you've dealt with the academia before. Let's go with that.
Fancy word and everything working.
Now then, let's return to the book vendor in a bit and buy the latest volume of this Onibudo for Kale. Ah, but if I wish to use it as teaching material, I have to read it first.
Correct.
Huh? Speaking of which, other than third eye of perception and illusory mirror, I also espy some unfamiliar phrases from the reader's messages at the back of the book. Such things as, even if it reminds me of my dark history, I still can't help but be drawn in by the story. And the author has written all the things that I only dare whisper into a tree hollow.
Oh!
Why do people use dark history to refer to awkward or embarrassing memories?
Oh!
Is this some slang that was invented in the last century?
That was comment from Cole. Oh my god.
If one of our learning objectives was researching linguistic changes over the past 100 years, it might make it easier to get these books approved as teaching material.
Oh, I can tell you what that's all about. Apparently, in their youth, some people used to imagine themselves as someone burdened by fate, fighting against the world, etc. But as they grew older, they started to become embarrassed by such memories. Some would write those fantasies into novels, while others would entrust such tales to tree hollows.
Mata? You know, I suddenly have the urge to hear a story about Antara.
Huh? Why so suddenly?
You would remind me of that, why? I think we can ignore whole dark history thing just for now.
I knew it. There will always be people who love the golden oldies. Now, let me tell you all about the ancient hero, Antara.
This is end? Yep. Tales of past regeneration event now. Let's see. Let's check this. Where are we going with the tree? Is alternative? No, we're going straight to it. It's 3 other way. So current future classic, okay. Academia, maybe Horizon 2 choice, but perhaps 3 options. Okay. So we're going here and we'll get a...
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory?
Let's to go. And let's to see. Another option.
What now? She seems so busy. Master said there's no rush, but I know that he's been busy working on something at Party's DI, so I feel for Madame Farazan. But I still want to ask her to come with us. But if I get her in trouble with the academia, then she won't have the time to help Master.
Let's do this one again and we choose the other
that
option.
would be best for them both. I'll check with Master later and see if there's... But I'm sure he'll say, the best thing you can do now is study hard, so I don't have to give you remedial lessons. Huh? Oh yes! This way she can get her problem sorted out quickly, and then she can go see Master. So if I also stay and help... that still sounds kinda scary.
You don't have forces?
Okay then. I'm counting on you.
Okay, let's see what happens if we're going without Kole.
I have to teach students from Haravatat or owe Kasharawar a favor. It strikes...
I think I can sympathize with them.
We're back, Madame Farazan.
Okay.
The Traveler said that he can stay and help you.
Oh, why I couldn't ask for more. In fact, I'm rather curious about the type of person the Traveler is. You were the one who taught Azara a lesson after all.
It's not a problem.
Is that so? Good. It does so happen that I do have something I need help with. Now, should I apply to teach a course with Haravatat, or join the collaborative project that Kasharawar is proposing?
This time.
I don't know if Tainari's told you about this before, but while my research involves learning about ruins and the mechanisms within them, I don't belong to Kasharawar, which specializes in researching mechanisms, nor am I in Spontamod, which specializes in researching energy flow. Instead, I'm part of Haravatat, which specializes in languages and scripts.
You only said you're very senior research with mechanisms.
She has been invited to Kasharawar multiple times to continue her research, but she's rejected them each time.
Oh.
Just listen to how they introduce themselves. In the future, Kasharawar will be the only Darshan with the ability to research mechanisms. There's no such thing as exclusivity in knowledge.
Oh.
Besides, the current Kasharawar is more concerned about how mechanisms can be used in everyday life, while my research involves textual analysis of ruins. If they're trying to use the collaborative project as an excuse to have me reconsider again,
No, that's not it. The request this time is from Akara Crafts. The representative of Kisharawar recommended you to them, Madame Farazan. In truth, she told me that it's because she respects you a lot.
Oh, respect? Oh, my.
Oh, yeah.
Putting aside my ideological differences with Kisharawar, I
Oh,
suppose
okay,
I
I
must
see.
acknowledge this attitude of theirs. At the very least, they're bounds above those decrepit Haravatat fools.
Oh, I don't have to.
Yeah, Akara Crafts is a pretty nice shop.
Oh,
Well, since both of you feel as such, I shall first hear this proposal.
In summary, Akara Crafts wants to design a series of early learning toys that will cultivate curiosity and learning in children.
oh.
Early learning toys. Interesting.
The academia agreed to work with them because they hope that these toys can help children become excellent researchers in the future.
True. The current academia is in need of some new blood. If the children start learning now, perhaps I can find some talented students in a few years.
Madame Farazan, you still haven't found any students?
Oh.
Anise, Kasharawar's representative, should be staying in the inn at Port Ormos.
Oh my.
If you want more details, you can find her there.
We're going to black market.
Port Ormos? Now there's a place I haven't been to in a long time. I wonder how much it's changed.
I probably can't join you since Port Ormos is a little far from here. I should probably go back and report to Master, and then review today's homework.
No worries. Go do your homework, Kale. Once I'm done with everything here, I'll head over to Pardistii.
I take you there. I can help you out. I can take you there.
Thank you. Why, I'd even call this a rare chance for a curious researcher like myself to observe the legendary traveler up close.
Why? We going there. Yes. Or almost. We coming. Let's go. Let's go and see. Oh, it's this direction. I don't see the ring, so...
Madame Farazan! Oh, it's really you. Did you change your mind?
All right, calm down. Let me be clear. I'm still not all that interested in Kisharawar. I'm just here to see how the project is going. After all, you're here as representatives of the academia in this collaboration. The reputation of all research is at stake here, so I will not simply stand by should mistakes get made.
Okay.
Either way, it's good that you were willing to come. Now, we've given Akara Crafts many ideas over the past couple of days. However, their owner thinks that our designs are too complicated, which will drive production costs too far up.
That's expected. Students who have never had to deal with budgetary constraints probably don't understand how important it is to keep costs low. How enviable.
But then it will be very difficult for you.
If you join the Kisharawar, your budget will be as big as you want it to be. I guarantee it.
Why?
That's enough. I will not repeat myself. Take me to Akara Crafts owner first, if you please.
All right. He's usually at the slope up ahead recruiting volunteers to test out his toys. Let's just head over.
Look. This is this guy from another toy? Where he is? Nowhere? Okay, I just jumping. Yeah. Yeah, this guy from my man, wait, like what? Have in your silly mind.
Oh, surely the kids will like this one.
Okay, nothing new.
Momdu, the one I recommended is here.
Mandu.
Oh, so you're, Madame Farazan?
Yes, that's me.
Ah, wonderful. We haven't been able to make any progress on our collaboration recently. We've made many suggestions, but Miss Anise thought that those ideas were too simple and wouldn't be effective in training the mind.
Oh.
These early learning toys are meant to help the academia train future researchers, after all. If they're too simple, then how are they any different from regular toys?
But if they're too complicated, not only will they be expensive to produce considering our production capabilities, but they won't have much broad appeal to Sumeru's children either.
Correct.
So the design can't be too complicated, but it can't be too easy to play with either.
I remember that in your notes, many contraptions have managed to fulfill complex functions despite using simple parts. Maybe we can do something similar with these early learning toys.
Good idea.
The contraptions in my notes, I didn't create those. I simply took the contraptions in the ruins apart and analyzed them. But now that you mention it, the ruins did have things like that. Do you have a pen, paper, and scissors? I'll make a paper prototype.
What the?
You have an idea already? I suppose I should have expected as much of a respected academia senior researcher. We do have those. Yes, please, help yourself.
What do you... Okay.
Oh, you're done already?
Oh, this time. Okay.
Let me explain. These 3 thick lines represent 3 poles. These paper strips of varying lengths represent rings of different sizes. They can be slotted onto the poles and stacked up like a tower.
Well, that is easier to make than I expected. So, how is this game played?
That's very simple as well. You just need to shift the tower from this pole to another pole.
Isn't this a little too simple? Even by the standards of an early learning toy, I mean.
Of course, when moving each ring, the paper strips in this case, you must follow one rule. You can only move one ring at a time, and you can't place a bigger ring on top of a smaller one. It's like building a tower. The rings in the 3 poles must be stacked from big to small. I named this toy Pagoda Stack.
Oh.
Pagoda stack.
That sounds way too simple. Even I feel like it's missing something.
Give it a try and you'll find out if it's simple or not. I heard from Anis that you find volunteers to try out the toys, right? Why don't we do the same for this game?
It's such a simple toy. There's no need to...
Mamdu, let's just do as she says.
Okay, then.
Okay.
And that's how you play this game. You can all give it a try. Let's see who's able to move the tower to another pole in the smallest number of steps.
You called everyone here for such a simple toy?
It doesn't look like it'll take that many steps.
Come on, we all promised to help Mr. Mamdu test out the new toys. He said he'd give us new Genius Invocation TCG cards.
You can. And then below with promise different toy.
Ugh, fine. Let's get this over and done with so we can head back and play cards.
Okay.
Done. It took me 19 steps.
Huh? It took me over 20 steps.
I only needed 18 steps.
Not bad. Looks like you're all familiar with the rules now. Then let's increase the difficulty. The next tower will be 5 layers tall. Now then, give it a shot.
Okay.
Wait, there's more?
Well, since we're already here, why don't we just give it a try?
An extra layer shouldn't make it that much harder, right?
What's going on? I've already moved over 30 steps, but I'm still not done yet.
I'm almost done. Looks like I'm the faster one this time.
Done! It took me 35 steps.
What? How?
This pagoda stack toy is pretty fun to play with.
Good. We'll try it one final time. This time, we'll add 2 more layers, making 7 layers in total.
Oh my god! I think so you're going a little...
Mamdu, we've still got quite a few paper strips here. Why don't you give this a go as well?
Do you need that many steps for something this simple? Let me try.
Madam Faruzan, allow me to try it as well.
You were looking at it quite seriously just now. Are you starting to understand the principles involved?
I think so.
If you want to test out your hypothesis, you'll just have to play and find out.
Got it.
Ah, we don't have enough paper strips left for you, Traveler. However, by the looks of things, you seem to have the game figured out.
Somewhat. Just about...
Why don't you guess what the lowest number of steps needed to solve a 7-layer pagoda stack is?
Okay. Last time was 35, okay. I giving 100.
What a shame. You were close. However, you did well for someone seeing pagoda stack for the first time.
What was
Let's see how well they do then.
100 was correct?
If I move this small ring, then the big one won't be able to go on top of it. Oh, this is going to take more steps than I expected.
I've lost count of how many steps I've taken. Can I restart?
This got a lot harder.
I solved it! Madame Faruzan, it takes 127 steps in total.
Okay, closer to... was it... okay.
That many? But there are only 7 layers.
For every extra layer in the pagoda stack, the move order you need to consider becomes much more complex, and the number of steps required will at least double.
More accurately, it will require double the steps, plus 1 each time. You did well. You didn't underestimate the principles behind it just because it's an early learning toy. The complexity of any given contraption isn't determined by the number of parts it has. The way the parts interact and the rules behind how it operates are important too.
Oh, I see. No wonder you emphasized in your notes that no contraption should ever be underestimated.
I see. So even a simple toy can become complex with the right set of rules.
That's right. The rules used for pagoda stack are the simplest kind when it comes to ancient contraption making techniques. I could spend some time picking out all those machines that do something similar and write you a reference book. Once that happens, you can give the volunteers the reference book and paper prototypes and find out which toy is the most popular.
Do you have any other toys?
Yeah, when can we play with them?
In about 2 days or so, I think. Anise, if you're free, can you help me with the illustrations for the reference book?
Of course. I'd be honored.
2 days should be enough for us to find more volunteers.
Oh my God.
Then we can organize a huge conference here, at which we can announce which toy we'll be making.
Should I come back in 2 days then?
You'd be most welcome. We need more people to get a healthy range of opinions. The more, the merrier.
Thank you for coming here with me today. I'll walk back with you.
What is she doing? Okay.
Hey, this new game's fun. Like Genius Invocation TCG.
Okay.
This new game is even more fun than Genius Invocation TCG.
Okay, everybody said the same?
I see everything. This new game's not bad, but Genius Invocation TCG is better.
Okay, because was water.
If only Madame Faruzan were willing to switch to Kasharwar.
Okay. What we leave for almost? How long we have to go? Lower.
I'll be going then. Say hi to Tainari and Kale for me if you can. Once everything here is settled, I'll make my way over to Pardistii as quickly as I can.
Yeah, but Anis.
Anise. We haven't had much time to get to know each other, but she seems like a good kid. She's able to calmly figure out the basic principles behind something without being influenced by others. I'll do my best to teach her over the next few days. Still, how much she learns will really depend on her.
Okay, why you to take the...
Well, her interest lies in the application of mechanisms.
Oh.
I do have some old knowledge to share, but if we think about the future, it's easier for her to learn the things she's interested in if she stays in Kasharawar. My research into mechanisms is, in a sense, a side effect of my research into ancient texts.
Okay.
If she becomes my student to learn how to make modern contraptions, it wouldn't benefit either of us in the long run.
I see. I didn't consider that.
However, if she develops an interest in deciphering ancient texts over these next 2 days, that would change things. If I successfully poach a student, those young punks at Haravatat will have one less reason to cut my budget. Perhaps if this collaborative project goes smoothly, I can even ignore Haravatat and ask for a higher budget directly from the academia.
Do you have any idea?
Oh, I could come up with lots of ideas. With Anis's help, 2 days will be enough for our work. However, I'm still undecided as to the style of the reference book's text and illustrations.
Try to keep simple and fun.
You're right. If no one understands the reference book, it doesn't matter how detailed it is.
Yep.
It's better to make it simpler and fun so that children will be interested in the subject. It'll also make it easier for me to recruit students in the long run.
Correct.
Thank you. I'll take your opinion into account. See you in 2 days.
So, in this today we can going to is correct another here? I only check because sheet. Oh, you can see, and I can see. Oh no. Oh, it is.
Have you met with Madame Faruzan yet?
She needs about 2 more days.
It's fine. Kale has already filled me in, more or less. I've also managed to settle some of the problems on my side, so I've got time to wait for Madame Faruzan to arrive. Can you help me find out how she's faring in 2 days' time? I do hope Madame Faruzan is able to find time as soon as possible.
I tell you, 2 days. Let's speed up the time. That is brief enough. Come on, baby. You're almost there. This should be enough.
Every journey has its final day. Don't.
Here we come. Let's see what you find with toys. Aruzan!
I see everything.
Will I finally be able to attract some students?
Oh!
Oh, you're here. We're just starting to set up the venue.
Okay, what do you have?
We've called up everyone we possibly could have. This is going to be quite the event.
My masterpiece is going to be exhibited after all. Let's see what the Academia shall say about it this time.
And what you doing?
And if we activate this little mechanism just like that, a Sumeru rose will appear at the top of the cane.
Oh, I see.
I thought it came out of thin air. It's amazing.
If the mechanism was bigger, you could make a rabbit appear, right?
Then you can't use a cane. Could you switch it out with a hat or something?
You're applying what you learned creatively. Not bad. Let's look at the next page. If you fold an origami bird like this, it'll fly further and more stably.
Whoa. You can make a mechanism using just a piece of paper?
The principles at play are even more important than the parts that make up a mechanism.
These are pretty cool. I'm tempted to try them out.
I'm not that interested in toys, but if they'll be beneficial for children's development.
Everyone, we have paper prototypes and craft materials that you can use to make your own toys. Come try them out.
This is such a well-prepared event. I'll give it a go.
But we want to play too.
It's fine. We have a lot of paper prototypes and craft materials. All feedback is also welcomed.
Okay, what do we have?
Oh, my origami bird flew further this time.
Professor Faruzan, how can I make mine fly further?
Ahem. Just Madam will do. Maybe in the future, you may indeed get the chance to call me Professor. You may wish to pay attention to these few details. Here, for example. All right, try it again.
Wow, it really did fly farther.
Madame Faruzan, will we learn origami at the Academia?
Of course you will. If you become a researcher, you can explore any field you like to your heart's content. In the future, if you want, you can even become one of my students.
But Mom and Dad said that there are 6 Darshans in the Academia. Wait, was it 7? Which Darshan teaches about mechanisms in origami?
Well, in this case, it wouldn't be Haravatat.
I know. We need to choose Kasharawar.
Huh?
Huh?
I want to attend Kasharawar in the future and fold even better origami birds.
I want to make even more awesome mechanisms.
Oh,
Actually, the other Darshans do have their own specialties too. For example, Haravatat specializes in... Pay attention, children.
okay.
Children?
Look like these early learning toys are a success.
How did this happen?
What if we end up in a Darshan we don't like?
Oh
Does
my
that
god.
mean that we won't get to learn about the things we do like?
Yeah?
No, that won't happen. Take me, for example. I'm a researcher from Haravatat, but I research mechanisms. See? The only person able to restrict your curiosity as a researcher is you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Not really.
I imagine.
Huh. It's all right. You still have a long road ahead of you. Now, do you want to learn about some other machines? Let me tell you a story about pressure-based mechanisms and elemental monuments.
I think so you're going a little too fast. Oh, how sweet. So long pursuit knowledge bring you joy. I find with bad but what you recognize Alba crossing very interesting too. Okay, let's see. What do you have this time? Oh, special food. Let's check. Toy, unlock. One ending and this other ending. I don't have to say the book simple. Okay, if we choose not simple, be different ending. Okay. Okay, confirm. Continue.
Where do you want to go next?
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa!
If you'd like to see Liyue's tourist spots, I have a few references. Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember.
I see you!
But where are those who share?
I'll be going then. Say hi to Tainari and Kale for me if you can. Once everything here is settled, I'll make my way over to Pardistii as quickly as I can.
About Kazuya?
You want to ask why I'm unwilling to join them, yes?
Yeah, why not?
Putting aside the fact that they're too full of themselves, I actually have no issue with their research methodologies and approach. After all, knowledge is either right or wrong. Superiority and inferiority do not come into the conversation. All researchers are just doing their best to shed light on the unknown in their respective fields of expertise.
Okay.
No matter what corner of the unknown they shed light on, it's a step forward for us all.
Why you refuse to join
Because I believe wholeheartedly in that principle. Even if the others call my research useless, as long as the knowledge I gain from it is accurate, it could become useful in the future. In the end, useful and useless are concepts that shouldn't be used to evaluate knowledge. When I first started deciphering ancient documents, I didn't think about how it'd be useful to Kasharawar. That's why there's no need for me to join them to do useful research. I'd rather stay in Haravatat. It's much more convenient for me to access the materials I need for my research here.
Okay.
Still, the funding that Kasharawar has offered me is so hard to get in Haravatat. Perhaps if this collaborative project goes smoothly, I can even ignore Haravatat and ask for a higher budget directly from the academia.
About Coronavirus project?
Oh, I could come up with lots of ideas. With Anis's help, 2 days will be enough for our work. However, I'm still undecided as to the style of the reference book's text and illustrations.
Try accurate detail.
You're right. Explanations are a core part of early developments, too. By using detailed and accurate illustrations, we can impart knowledge more effectively. It would also make it easier for me to recruit students. Thank you. I'll take your opinion into account. See you in 2 days.
I am interested in what happened now. Zoardo! I don't know if Zoardo is correct because Dio when used it he stopped the time but we speed up the time. I don't know who have this kind of power. Maybe Corona? Corona? From Dragon Ball Superhero. The supreme tie of time. He can control time in some kind of way. Okay, here we come. How everything going?
Everyone hold hands. Will I finally be able to attract some students?
Okay, let's see. How this time going?
Oh, you're here. We're just starting to set up the venue.
Oh my god.
We've called up everyone we possibly could have. This is going to be quite the event.
My masterpiece is going to be exhibited after all. Let's see what the academia shall say about it this time.
Okay, on the road.
To sum up, the 24 forms of pressure-based puzzle mechanisms were used in various ruins. All right, let's go to the next page. Now, I'll explain the base layer design of elemental monuments.
I feel like I'm in the class.
Are we done yet? Oh, I'm falling asleep.
I don't understand any of it at all.
Are these really toys?
They sound a bit too dangerous to buy for children.
Oh, who are you? Oh, you are.
Well, we've prepared paper prototypes for everyone. If you're interested in the mechanisms Madame Farazan's talked about, you're more than welcome to try them out.
Oh, this is no fun. Can I try another toy?
I want to go home and play Genius Invocation TCG.
Okay. And he completely yours.
Forget it. I don't think anyone would be interested.
I should go home and take care of my children.
It is interesting.
How did this happen? Forget about getting opinions from others. No one even wanted to stay and try them out.
I'm sorry. I think we miscalculated.
I misapologize too.
No, you simply gave suggestions. I was the one who decided to follow through. Anise, too, was only following my instructions. I will find a way to make up for this error. Please, give me some time. I'll write another reference book.
Excuse me, but
Yeah?
are you the one who wrote this reference book?
Yes. Who are you?
You're that man mountain who was in the crowd just now.
Do I stand out that much?
Yes,
Well, I
sir,
guess I
yes.
don't look like someone who'd have anything to do with toys. Let me introduce myself. I'm Kamal, the branch master of Sumeru's Adventurers Guild.
Now I remember you.
What's the branch master doing here? Were you looking for us, or did something happen?
I came to Port Ormos to visit some old friends. On the way over, I saw the booklet you were handing out, so I came to take a look. Can you print a few more copies of this booklet and sell them to the Adventurers Guild? Also, could you make full-fledged models of those paper prototypes and sell them to us as well?
What does the Adventurers Guild want with these toys?
You may see them as toys, but to adventurers who need to deal with all sorts of machines and contraptions within ancient ruins, this booklet is a true treasure.
Yeah, I can see this.
We have many members who can't read, so books are of little use to them. What they know of handling mechanisms has been learned solely through word of mouth. Even if the academia granted public access to all their books, there are people who can't use them.
Oh.
And our booklet is practically all pictures.
Well, it is designed for children.
It might be a bit too difficult for children, but it's perfect for adventurers. Also, those paper strips, you called them paper prototypes? If you can make wooden versions for demonstration purposes, even the most illiterate person would be able to follow along and understand.
Sounds simple to say even idiots can use this.
If we can supply a model set for each branch, and if each adventurer carries a booklet with them, then ruin exploration will become much safer.
You really think so? I mean, yes. I always knew it. Knowledge will always be needed, one way or another.
So
Making
nice.
models of contraptions for the Adventurers Guild? To be honest, that sounds like a good avenue to explore to me.
Yeah, wonderful job.
We'll probably have to send in a separate application, but it shouldn't be an issue.
Wonderful.
After all, this concerns safety during the exploration of ruins. It's a problem that the academia is actually trying to address as well.
Then let's cut to the chase and discuss the details of our first order. The amount we're offering to pay in advance is this much.
Oh my god, this reaction! Oh, she loves money. Oh my god! All knowledge would be fine if you use it. Knowledge is wealthy. I love